Welcome to Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go, a look at modern and retro games with a dark sense of humor. Introducing your hosts, Steve.
Well, I'm a wreck now.
Harry.
Put it in my mouth.
Clark.
That man had one testicle and hit home runs, goddammit.
And Joe.
This went off the rails very quickly.
Let's start the show.
Welcome back for another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast.
Go! Fuck! God.
Nailed it.
One day I'm going to get it.
One of these days.
I'm going to get it one of these days.
Across the monitor from me, we have Joe.
Welcome.
In the other monitor, we have Clark.
Here comes a spooky bunch.
And a special guest for tonight, Mr. John.
Every time I forget. I always forget to get a quote. Every time. God damn it.
And I'll be your host tonight, Steve. A brawl is surely brewing. Before we get into it, we have a special message for each and every one of you. That this episode is brought to you by Deep Creek Glassworks. Deep Creek Glassworks has been making hand-blown, durable glass works of art since 2013. It's like 7 years, because I can math. With the holiday season, with like right around the corner, now's the time to deck your own halls or make someone else's spirits bright, even though you're kind of late on ordering. But hey, that's where it's like, I already ordered it. It's in the mail. Here's a picture of it. You can find ornaments, glassware, much more. If you can't find something that you really like, or you're curious to see what else there may be, you can just ask. And just for our listeners, you will receive 10% off of your first order using the promo code SUPERFUN. All orders are shipped in crust-resistant boxes, and actually now it's not just free shipping on any order over 50 or more. It's just free shipping regardless. Upgrade for everybody there. So come on, don't be a Grinch. Go visit Deep Creek Glassworks, work spelled WORX.com. Go check them out on Instagram. Go check them out on Etsy. You're going to find a little bit of something everywhere for everybody. Support some small business in these times. Don't be a poop.
You know what I got out of that? Other than the great products of Deep Creek Glassworks, Steve isn't good at buying Christmas gifts on time.
No, you are not wrong. I cannot call you a liar.
It's just a crisis right now, isn't it, for you?
It really is.
He was too quick to be like, "Oh, you can just get a picture of it, and that's fine."
Because everybody loves a fucking. Everybody likes a picture. Hey, I got you this PS5. Here's a picture of it, you jerk.
And just a box that I paid $800 for because I can't read an eBay listing.
Those people are my favorite.
It's terrible. Read the listings. I mean, don't buy from the secondhand people because that's just fucked up.
I don't know why you'd ever look up, eBay vendor John sells it 01, who's just listing off PS5 boxes. I don't know why you'd do it.
Did you sell yours yet?
No, man. I'm not doing that. Come on.
I like.
It's going to be a collector's item in like 6 years.
Exactly.
When you get the PS6 and just put it in your basement to forget about forever.
Right. You just list it as a PS5, and then people are going to be like, it's got to be the new one, because some grandma.
Oh, I got you the PlayStation 5. Thanks, Graham.
PlayStation 5.
That's a whole different product. Anyway, we digress. Tonight's episode is the infamous Cuphead. Prepare thyself.
For battle.
Yes. So, who would like to give me initial impressions?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I knew that this was going to go horribly wrong for me. I wasn't going to say nah, fuck that game, Steve, but I really, really thought about it because I am not good at platformers like these at all. So I knew it wasn't going to go well for me. Well, and I was not looking forward to this.
At least you knew that going in. You were honest with yourself. And you stuck it through. We'll find out progress in just a little bit. John, initial impressions.
Mickey Mouse Dark Souls. It's
I think that's the first time
You
I've
mean-
ever heard it described that way.
I mean, it's kind of what it is, right? I mean, it's like boss.
I don't think it's kind
It's
of
like
anything
boss-
like
it's boss rush.
Dark Souls, but
I mean, yeah, it's obviously not like Dark Souls. I mean,
Literal
but
Clark.
It's I don't know. I think it's a fun romp. It takes a little while to get used to, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Sweet. Clarkman.
so we had tossed this game around before, and I was one of the people that was like, hey, this might not, it was one of our crunch time games, and I said, hey, this is probably not the game to do in crunch time because it is harder and it would take a little while longer for people to actually beat it instead of like the average runtime. Well, we decided to do it in crunch time this time, and I didn't beat it. So, but yeah, I always thought the aesthetic was really cool, and I just never really checked it out because platformers aren't really my thing.
Well, for myself, I only heard about the game and see like a couple like screen grabs from it where you kind of get like the old timey animation look, and then like the sunflower is a meme, so most people have seen it and may not know what it actually is. But it was definitely one that was on my list. So that's why I picked this game. And the timing could have been a little better, but here we are. It happened. So what are we going to do?
Not finish it.
Review it
Yeah,
as best we can.
Okay, no los dos.
What did we think of Acts 1 and 2? No, it's yeah.
All right. Let's get our way into some development.
Game development.
So this game was actually released in September 2017 on the Xbox and for Windows. Then in April of 2019, it came out for the Switch. In June 2019, you were able to play the first level in certain Tesla models, which was a fun fact I found because Elon apparently loved the game. And then, it was like Elon's like, oh, you know what? I like the game.
As a game that takes as much focus as this.
Yep. Well, now you can play it in like certain model Teslas. Although it was I think it was just the first island or like the first few stages, something like that.
So not only did he install a video game in a car, he was like, I'm not even going to give you the whole game.
No.
I hate that guy.
And then it was finally released on PS4 in July of this year. It was the first game that was done by studio MDHR, which was started by the Moldenhauer brothers, and that was their kind of like their first jump into the world. And what the hell kind of a game to start with? Some of the research I was doing, they used to watch a lot of like 1930s cartoons when they were kids, so that was a source of kind of like the inspiration for the animation. It also sold 1 million copies in its first 2 weeks. So there was definitely some hype up on it. The other notable thing would be that there was DLC that was announced in 2018, but since it's such a small team that works on it, like I think it's like literally like less than 10 people, it got pushed back, and then it was supposed to be for 2020, and then COVID hit. So wait and see, and that's where that sits. Yeah.
so there's still more of the game to come out, pretty much.
Yeah, there is. Like from what I was seeing, there's going to be a whole new character. I don't know if it's a playable character or kind of like the main focal point, who's like the person that's leading you in certain directions. There's going to be more coming out at some point in the future, which I'm personally excited about. Looking forward to it.
I'd probably pick that up.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, it's definitely heavily inspired by, those old Mickey Mouse cartoons. You can see a lot of Steamboat Willie, those kind of designs in there. Like the way that they animated it is very like classic, like Warner Brothers, classic Disney art design. I thought the way they put it together was pretty impressive. And from what I've heard with the art in this game, not to get too much into the art style, but like a lot of that stuff's hand drawn, and that's why it takes them so long to develop it. And it's so that's probably why it's taken them so long to make DLC on a small team like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. They did the backgrounds using watercolors, and then to like colorize it even more, it was done in Photoshop. So I mean, it's very manual, hands-on type detail that goes into it. That's pretty much all I really found for the development. I mean, I don't really think there's too much else to go into other than it uses the Unity engine, which is pretty much like mostly used on mobile games. So, I mean, I could see why you'd be able to use that in a game like this, because there's really not too many high intense like mechanics that go into it.
There's AAA games being developed with Unity as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because
It's just an engine. It's an engine for code, really.
gotcha. Because I was trying to look around for like other examples, and I was looking up other things just to kind of.
Fall Guys, for instance, is Unity.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even thought about that game in a long time. Holy crap.
Yeah, we just brought it up on Mubbers on the last episode. It's like, what's one of your like side? What are you gonna play type of games?
Yeah, that's weird. All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about it for development. So let's 21 skidoo right into story.
Story.
Oh my god!
Do they even say 21 skidoo in the whole game?
It doesn't even matter. Just let Steve be Steve.
Yeah.
Let Steve be Steve.
Thanks, Joe.
LBSB. Should get like bracelets with that shit on it.
Yeah. With BSB, I'm sure there's no copyrights or trademarks anywhere from any other entity.
No. I mean,
Just get a
what are they
tramp
going to do? They're just trying to, harsh your vibe. They
Yeah.
should just let you be you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I feel really good.
Yeah, it's okay. All right.
All right. So, synopsis, because this is such an in-depth story.
Yeah.
Cuphead and his brother Mugman took a stroll over to the Devil's Casino looking for some fun. As they continued to play, they hit a hot streak, raking in a load of winnings. The big man himself, the Devil, offers our boys one huge bet on a game of craps. If they win, they get all the money at the casino. But if they lose, their souls belong to him. Snake Eyes. The Devil gives them a second chance for their souls by chasing down his debtor souls instead. The boys take up the offer and start battling their way through 3 different islands, or isles as they're called. Once collecting all the souls, they battle the casino's manager, King Dice, then finally face the Devil himself. They could either hand over the souls contract and join the Devil, or fight for the freedom of all. What did you choose?
Well,
There you go. That's
are you just
pretty much
asking
it.
me directly? Because
Yeah, sure, just you.
I did both.
Oh man.
I actually thought there was a really cool detail about that. We'll get into that. I guess we can talk about it now because it's a story, right?
Yeah. You can get into that now.
All right, man. So if you do say, "Yeah, I'll join you," and you hand over the contracts, it's like game over, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
like
the end.
then it's like scroll the credits and it's like, haha, you shouldn't have fell for his tricks, and it's like a weird devil version of like Cuphead and Mugman. And then it goes to the main menu again, right? And you can go back into your file. But on the main menu, if you wait, I don't know if you did this, Steve, all the music is backwards.
Yeah, because I defeated the Devil first, and then I went back and then joined him. And then when it was scrolling through, everything was just in reverse. I'm like, oh.
So all the music, it's like, like when they were like, don't you play a rock record backwards and you can hear the Devil in it. Like, so it was a kind of a neat little touch there. But that's pretty much the story.
Yeah, there's not really much to it. Let's talk about the morality of just instead of owning their gambling problem and getting help and being like, oh well, we fucked up, they decide to go ruin a bunch of other people's lives. Let's talk about the morality of Mugman and
to
Cuphead.
be fair, yeah, they didn't ruin the other people's lives. They were already in debt. They were welching on their debt, man.
Yeah, the other people already made their choices.
Yeah, exactly. They knew it was coming. One day,
exactly.
Porcelain will come over the horizon, and that'll be that.
Yeah, in the shape of a cup that
or
has appendages or mug. I don't want to be muggist here or cuppist. I don't know. Drinkware.
Porcelainist.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it's so. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, at that point, it's kind of like the guy who's like got a bullet, heading at his face, and you're like, "Well, you shouldn't have ever gotten yourself into this situation. That bullet's coming, and it's Cuphead."
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just trying to make a little one-off joke about that.
Nope.
Like, I don't think there's actually like morality involved in this game at all.
Well, we apparently there is because we just talked about it.
You could turn it off. You'd be like, "I ain't doing that, Mr. Devil," and you just turn it off.
Yeah. I think we all just learned
The
something
end.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, did anybody ever play the Stanley Parable?
No.
Mm-mm.
So there's an achievement called Go Outside in that game. And because it's like a kind of this weird branching open storyline where it's like you can finish it in like 5 minutes or you can finish it in like 2 hours. Not to get into a different game, but there's this achievement called Go Outside. And it's like, don't play the game for like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. So it's like, and I think it's the greatest achievement I think I've ever seen because like nobody has it because they like keep opening the game. And you have to wait like 2 years or something ridiculous to get the achievement.
Challenge
fun.
accepted.
Yeah.
There's a great little that would be a good Mubbers episode, is us talking about some of our favorite achievements in games, because there's like one in Far Cry that if you just do nothing instead of like taking the cues to like start the game, like pretty much the bad guy's in front of you, he's like you wait right here, and then you see the opportunity to like escape. If you don't, he's just like, oh, okay, thanks, yeah, I'll comply, here you go. And he's just like really like amenable, and he's like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
It's like the best
game's
ending.
over in 15 minutes. Yeah.
Like nobody dies. Like it's
Yeah, literally no one dies.
Yeah.
It's just like
the best ending.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was a little wrong, a little off on that Stanley Parable. It was actually 5 years.
Oh God.
Yeah, so the first
God
day that you
damn.
could actually finish it was October 17th of 2018 because it came out in 2013. So
Nah, the
it's,
first day you could get that achievement was seconds after it was released. You just changed the console time. That's how everyone did all those timed things.
this is on. I think it's only PC, isn't it?
You can still do that on PC.
I mean, but what's the point?
People like to achievement hunt.
Not mad. I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Understandably So.
Yeah. All right. So should we talk gameplay? Because that's
I
really
think-
where the game is.
That's where we're heading. So we're gonna be loopy like Goopy Legrande and head on over into gameplay.
Gameplay.
All right. So as was already discussed, this is a platformer for the devil. And,
Yep.
and Satan and everything evil.
So when I first picked this up, I picked it up before I knew you guys were going to review it. I picked it up when it came out for PS4, and I thought it was going to be more like, a Mario, where you were like, playing a bunch of levels to get to the boss at the end of the level. I didn't realize it was going to be so boss focused. There still are a couple of side scrolling levels, but they're very few and far between. I thought, it was a little different than what I expected there. So I don't know if I'd even classify this as like a platformer. I mean, it's a platform basis, but it's not. You're not making jumps all the time, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of like the style of it. I mean, I think there's a whole 5 or 6 actual like platformer levels, like for the running guns, but that's pretty much about it. Everything else is just boss battles.
Yeah. I mean, like, you could call it a platformer because, like, John kind of already touched on it. Like, the other levels are side scroll levels. You know what I mean? It's still
Yeah.
the same concept. Like, every, like, platformer, whether it's like Sonic or whatever, like, you get to the end of a stage and, like, you have to beat Dr. Robotnik or whatever the fuck it is. Like, it's basically just that part.
Right. Yeah. It's just that end sequence. Now they're way more involved in fighting Robotnik, but
Sure.
it's
Yeah, it's a generalized platformer. If you want to get into like a subgenre of it, it's a bullet hell game.
Yeah, I could definitely.
Sure. Yeah, I could see that.
I could agree with that. I mean, especially like some levels are much, much more intensive than others.
The fucking giant robot, man.
That robot fucking sucked.
Oh, that robot.
Okay, so let's so now that we're in gameplay, let's talk a little bit like favorite power-ups and least favorite on like bosses.
All right, so I'm going to start here because I totally fucked myself, which is why I didn't finish it.
Oh, I'm very impressed, Joe. I
put myself into a situation where I couldn't get any power-ups, like, or any additional weapons, because I didn't realize like where things were slotted in the equipment. So I bought stuff that all went into the same slot. So there was a bunch of useless stuff I couldn't use.
Oh shit.
God.
So like after a while, I was just like, do I just start over? But like I was like, it took me way too long to get this far. I was like, fuck that. Like I just got stuck because all I had was the basic fucking gun with nothing else.
Yeah, the pea shooter.
Yeah, that's all I had. And I was just like, it just fucked me so hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny.
So yeah, favorite power-ups and stuff. I mean, the only one I actually used was like to get my super faster. That was pretty much it. It was the only useful one I actually ended up having.
Damn.
Jesus. Why didn't you start over?
Because I didn't realize what the fuck was going on until I was like 6 hours in or whatever.
6 hours.
It took me that long just to get through the first island because I'm terrible at these games.
Did you end up getting through the first island?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Cyberpunk.
I did.
Cyberpunk 2077 or Cuphead. What was longer for Joe? 6 hours.
Hey, but you know what, Joe? You kept trying, so you had the determination there, no matter how.
God bless you.
I could barely finish. So like I did all of the Island 2 bosses barely on simple.
Yeah, there's definitely there's a spike there in difficulty between Island 1 and Island 2.
Yeah.
It was fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Which Joe was telling me that I thought was kind of fucked up because there was like the simple and regular, and simple you don't get like the soul or anything for it.
You can't
There's
keep
0
going.
point in playing simple.
Yeah. The only reason you play simple is to like see all the phases of the boss.
You don't even see all the phases.
You don't even see them. Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's like, what are we doing this for? And sometimes they're harder. Like I think a couple of them are harder on simple because it's just more intense. It's just shorter. It's not easier. I don't know.
Yeah, it was not fun.
No.
I wouldn't imagine so.
Joe's just over there crying. We're all like, let's talk about this cool little fun little game. And Joe's like, I don't want to play this anymore.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Like I had to like literally like play it in 30-minute shots because I would just get so frustrated with getting pissed off.
Yeah.
And like Amanda like could tell when I was getting pissed off, and she'd be like, all right, you gotta like step away for a minute.
You need to simmer down now.
Yeah. Because I'd be just like, fuck. Like, every 2 minutes.
For 6 hours. God.
Yeah. Basically.
Oh, Joe.
You really put a downer on this this segment there, Joe. I couldn't figure out the upgrades, so I gave up after 6 hours.
Well, it wasn't figuring it out. Like, I didn't understand, like, I didn't understand it, and I fucking bought myself into a hole.
I love the fact that you soft locked yourself out of Cuphead. Like, it's just so good.
I mean, to be fair, Joe, I didn't just buy everything in the same category. I picked different things, and then I was confused as to why am I not actually able to use these weapons, because I didn't pay attention to bring up the menu until I did the mausoleum. And then when she explains, oh, go to your equip menu so you can use the super weapon. And then I went to that. I'm like, oh, shit, that's where everything is. Okay.
You know, the same thing happened to me. It was the first mausoleum, and I'm just I had already gone to the shop and bought a few things. I was God. I was like, what the fuck? Oh man, here's where all that stuff is. I was like, I didn't know if it's like one-time use stuff. And I
man,
just
can you
like immediately
imagine?
went into, oh dude, no, I couldn't. I fucking couldn't.
There's only like 20 coins in the game.
There's like 20
Yeah.
coins in the game, and you can buy like 4 things once.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Well, at least for myself, for the actual weapons, the ones that I think I used the most of the time was the spread, which reminded me of like Contra, where it's just
Yeah.
like the spread fire.
Shotguns.
Yeah, and it's just
Yeah.
like it covers so much more area, even though it might not be as powerful as some of the other ones. And then once I started getting into like the end of the second or the beginning of the third island, I started using the charge one, even though there was no rapid fire. But if you let that thing charge up,
Yeah, it
and
does a
once it
ton.
hit, stupid amount of damage
Yeah.
that it did. You just had to make sure you're using it against a boss that you could actually get away with it.
Yep.
And then I think ability was like the invisible dash, where you can dash past and like you disappear, but you don't take any damage, like while you're phased out. I don't think I actually ever used a different power up, only because that really worked very big in my realm. So in hindsight, probably could have changed that out for the what you call it, like for the airplane battles and whatnot. But
Mhm.
oh well, I didn't.
Yeah, so for me, it was favorite weapon was probably the green tracing ones, the ones that would just chase and hit whatever was on the screen.
Yeah,
Because it's kind of a set it and forget it kind of thing. You know, you just hold down right trigger and just focus on dodging all the enemies and all
got
the bullets. You know what I mean?
Ron rotisserie chicken. You said it, and
Yeah, Ron for Peel,
forget
baby.
it. Yeah,
You know, thing made good chicken. My parents had one actually. Yeah, so the green tracer, and then I agree with you, Steve. The charge, once you realize how good it is in terms of damage, that got me through the devil at the end of the game because it just
Yeah.
hits so hard. And then in terms of power ups, I agree. The ninja dash was really good, where you're invulnerable. But I also took extra life a lot because I was trying to get those A pluses. And if you
Same.
get hit once, then you still have 3 lives. So you can still get the A plus score. And then I think the super that I used the most was probably the third one. Once you get to it, before that I probably used the first one, because the second one, the invulnerability, it's just constantly you trying to figure out like, when is this going to run out? So you wind up not playing
yeah.
like super aggressive with it, and then you're just I think there was only one boss where I used invulnerability. That was the B.
Oh, okay.
Because I could just drop down on the bottom of the screen
Yeah.
and just like lay into her with spread. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's what I used most of the time. I didn't like the lobber, the bombs, except for on the robot. But other than that, those chasers, man, those are the best.
Yeah, I think I really only used the lobber on the dragon one, whichever, like the 3-headed dragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the only times I used it. Maybe one other one, but nothing that really sticks out other than that guy.
I used the lobber on the B.
Yeah, because of the B.
Yeah, it was great because you could just stand there and just constantly just be doing damage, because like the third phase of the B is like damn near impossible to do with just the snap, the first one, the pea shooter.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that one. Yeah, pea shooters, not the best.
So I used primarily the pea shooter and the loop back.
Really?
The roundabout one.
Yeah. What I noticed about that was it allowed me to take very defensive positions and still do a lot of offensive damage.
Oh yeah.
Because the way that worked is if you shot it behind you, it would loop back across the entire screen and then come back. So like anytime there was like projectiles that you could kill, it just instantly were like off my screen. The entire screen from me jumping and changing levels would be completely filled with these things flying around. And it just was like really consistent damage for me. So I really, really used that a lot. And then I think I just used the first special, and I used the 4th health pip a lot.
Yeah, I mean, extra health is awesome in this game.
Yeah, I could never get the dodge to work for me. I don't know what it was about it, but like it was either like just like my timing with it, or my understanding of how it worked, or like where the invulnerable frame was. But like I couldn't just pin it down. It was pissing me off, so I just switched over. I was dying too much and was like, "Fuck it."
So the dodge I actually forgot about using, like most of the time.
Oh.
Like, so I totally forgot you could do it. So like some of the side scroller levels, I was like, this jump's impossible. Because you're supposed to like jump in the air and then dodge and like air dash. And I just totally forgot about it. And I was like trying to like frame perfect these jumps.
Yeah.
So that I could get them. And then I was like, right, dodge. Totally forgot about dodge.
Yeah, you weren't alone on that one. Whichever one was the running gun one where you're going like over the water and whatnot. That was one where I'm like, oh, that's right.
That's like that's right. You can't. Yeah, I just you don't think about that stuff, and then it just bites you in the ass.
Yeah,
it's just the worst.
What about favorite and least favorite bosses?
All of them.
All of them. All of them.
It's interesting.
I think least favorite.
Can we
the
do
one that gave me the
can we
most?
Do, hold on. Can we do least favorite, most frustrating? Because I think they're different.
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Because I think there's frustrating bosses and least favorite bosses.
Sure. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
All right. I'll say least favorite was Captain Brinybeard, but that's only because I really didn't have too much of a challenge on that, which was nice to actually be able to like not only die twice and then beat it. And I think that was the only one that I got like an A+ on. Without going back and trying to play anything else. So that's probably where it's least favorite. Favorite one. That's actually that's a hard thing to say I had a favorite thing of. Actually, you know what? I think favorite would be King Dice because there was like a mini game associated with it too. And the little like mini bosses in between, like they weren't too bad once you like played through a couple times and you learned the pattern. It didn't take too much, but actually like hitting the dice, and sometimes you get like another like heart to go along with it, like why you have to go through like the 3 separate times, because at least for Clark and Joe, when you're at the end, King Dice, you're basically going.
I made it to King Dice, thank you.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I just literally didn't finish the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, Joe.
Yeah. Fill me in.
Yeah. So when you fight King Dice at the end, there's actually like other series of mini bosses you have to fight first before you can fight King Dice. So it's like you have 3 spots. 2 of them you have to fight, and then one of them you can get an additional heart and still have to fight the boss. And then there's like safe spaces in between, and there's like 3 sets of 3, like kind of like going around like a roulette wheel or something like that.
So at a minimum,
it's like a game board.
Yeah,
you're rolling dice and moving along a game board.
So at a minimum, you're going to fight one from each of those 3 blocks if you roll properly.
Well,
if you don't roll properly, then you have to go through it and hit more than 3 mini bosses before you get there.
And right before the end, there is a start over.
Start over,
yeah.
But it doesn't reset the board, so you can, if you hit the same spots you did the first time, you'll be fine. So that's a really fun. But man, I hated the actual King Dice.
Oh yeah,
part
like
of that boss.
That was the worst. I could get all the way through, get all the extra hearts, and not lose anything. Be stacked up with like 6 hearts when I get to them, and then it all just goes to utter shit.
Yep,
and that happened.
That was my experience as well.
Several times.
He's brutal after he gets going. Yeah,
he is rough. And then the most frustrating would be Dr. Call's robot.
Like robot.
That robot was such a dick. Such a dick. I think for a solid at least an hour, almost hour and a half, the like playing through, I just couldn't get past it. So I'm like, you know what? It's getting late. I'm going to go to bed. I'm not going to do this. And then next day when I played again, 2 tries. So just had to walk away and then come back again. But for God's sake, I think he took the longest out of any of the bosses for
See,
me.
but that's like very Dark Souls-y to me. Like when I have a boss in Dark Souls that I couldn't beat, I would just like walk away for a day, and I'd come back and I'd like, first or second try, I'd be able to beat him.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to reset your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I think that's kind of interesting the way it kind of worked. But that robot's the worst. Hate that guy. The robot is.
So is the robot your frustrating or your least favorite?
I don't think he's my most frustrating because by the time I got there, I knew what I was doing wrong and like why I was failing against him. So like it wasn't the worst. The one that really got me frustrated was Baroness von Bonbon.
Yes.
Fuck her.
The randomness of that shit.
Yeah, because it was just like here's 3 random mini bosses, and then just that last part of her is just brutal, and you're like, there's no good weapon to fight her, and you're just like, it just sucks. I hated that boss.
Honestly, the loop back works so good there.
That was the last weapon I bought, I think, was the loot backs. And at that point, you don't have a lot of coins.
Right.
So you can only have like 1 or 2 extra weapons. But it's, I hated that one. Or maybe the Djinn. Genie.
Really? I didn't think he was that bad either. Honestly, I've been looking through and Act 2,
Act 2's
the only
got
one that I...
some bastards. That clown is a bitch.
See, I feel like I breezed through Act 2, except for the dragon. The dragon was a little tough.
See, I breezed through Act 3. Act 3, I think I beat in like an hour. Like, all of the bosses. I don't know what I was in. Maybe there was all the cocaine. But I was just killing it. But speaking of favorite bosses, probably the rat, Werner Warman.
Oh, he was neat.
I just thought it was clever because it was like, okay, you're fighting the tank, right? And then he like hooks in and like, is fighting from the turrets or whatever. And then like the cat eats him, right? And then you're fighting the cat, but it turns out the cat was just a robot. At the end of the fight, after you kill him, like the cat opens up and like the rat's in there controlling the cat.
Yeah, the cat's in the wagon.
I was like, oh,
that's pretty cool.
I was like, okay, this is fun.
Yeah.
And then least favorite boss was probably, let me think about that one. Captain Briny Beard was really easy, and I think that's why I didn't like it. The stage play, Sally stage play, wasn't that bad either.
No.
I those 2 bosses I think were pretty easy. And I wasn't expecting them to be as easy. And maybe it's because you're just better at the game at that point. But I wasn't expecting them to be as easy as they were when you got to Act 3. Especially with how hard the robot is.
Right.
Because that robot, man, just brutal.
That robot was my second to last battle, because after that, all I had left was the train.
Oh, I forgot about the train. Oh, I hate the train.
Yeah.
Is the train's the one you hate?
I always
Just
kept
in general.
Sounds like he hates a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I get frustrated by them, but I don't think I hate them. I just hate levels that you can't fall off and like touch the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the dragon levels that way, the train levels that way, where you're just like constantly trying to like manage where you're standing.
Yeah.
In addition to killing the boss and dodging all the bullets, it makes it harder, I think. End of the Devil's that way too, but easily cheesable.
What about you, Joe?
I mean, I only played the first 2 aisles, but
Please say the root pack 3 times.
Each stage, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think the one that frustrated me most was the Baroness von Bonbon. I don't know. Like, I didn't really. I liked the carnation, the flower. Like, I thought that was cool, but it was like kind of simpler. So maybe that's why.
Joe doesn't have a favorite.
Yeah, no, I really don't. I remember once that I spent like a shit ton of times on, and then like like Ribby and Croaks and the Root Pack were the only ones that I beat in like the first couple of tries. But that's because they were really fucking simple. Like everything else just took me forever.
Yeah.
Fair.
How about you, Clark, man?
So all of mine are going to be in Act 3, actually. The one that I hated just because I didn't like the actual, like what was going on in the background and stuff was Sally stage play. I just wasn't like a fan of it. The most frustrating and the one that I like really struggled with was Dr. Call's robot. I posted a few times of me getting to like probably what was 99%.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Oh God, it is just awful.
It's such a feeling that it gives you, because for people listening, if you haven't played, like it shows you like a progress bar, like if you die, like how far along. So if you're like halfway through the battle, you see yourself there, but sometimes you're like right there near that last flag and like you're almost there.
Yep.
And
Yep.
fuck you, you died.
Dude,
And
it's
hold
just
on, let me
frustrating. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just finish my thing. And my favorite boss is probably Calamaria.
Yeah, she was fun.
She was a
yeah.
toughie for me.
It was just a fun fucking battle, like, and like that's one of the plain ones. And if you pressed me to say like one of the non-plain ones, it would probably be Phantom Express. I loved that one. I thought that one was fucking awesome too.
That was fun.
I beat that pretty quickly. I actually played that over again. Like Calamaria and Phantom Express are the only ones that I played over again just because I had fun with them. Not to say the game isn't fun in general. I'm just saying that, crunch and time trying to beat stuff, those are the ones that I played over again.
You were just like, oh, I got enough time. I enjoyed it. Let's do it again.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Calamaria was fun. She gave me a lot of trouble at the beginning when she did that ghost attack. I was like, how do you dodge this?
Oh, yeah.
For like, a long time it took me to figure out that one. But
how did you guys choose to dodge that? Because I would try to get in front of the middle one as close as I could and then spin down underneath of it, because then the other ghosts couldn't get you.
I would stay in the middle of the screen. Mm-hmm. So then I had room to dodge back and away. So once they like started to move, you can just, get out. You can kind of like bullfight them out of the way.
Yeah. If you dodge and go
to the corners,
up,
and go to the corners.
I would just back all the way up to the screen and then just wait for them to start coming, and then slowly start. Well, not slowly, but kind of move and lead them out of the way, and kind of do like a half circle, and then go up and forward.
Yep.
When I could
dipsy do it, but then like there's the part where she starts to like either pull you towards her or push you away, and it makes it harder to like maneuver around. It was a tricky one.
Yeah, that was always kind of tough when there were the enemies that had like gravitational pull or something else to really just kind of fuck with you. Yeah,
those are tough. There's some tough kind of bosses in this game. I think they did a really nice job, I think, with level design, like, because each one of those bosses stages feels different for the most part after the first act. Once you get past, the first act, and there's stages where, you're up in the clouds, or stages where you're underwater or in the plane, or, all those stages feel a little bit different. And I think that's like the clown where you have the roller coaster coming every 15 seconds, right? And then you've got the train where you have to stay on the platforms. And, I think it's good level design, but some of them can be extremely frustrating.
Oh, yeah. You just have to be cognizant of everything that's happening on the screen, because if you're looking to like the upper right-hand corner, you're not going to see the thing that's running across the bottom that's going to take you out.
Yep. And, some stuff can hit you, some stuff can't. It can get frustrating for sure.
Indeed.
So one thing John brought up that reminded me of something that happened that I got really frustrated with. You mentioned not being able to fall off the platform on the Phantom Express.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one thing that this game did that really bothered the shit out of me. The one run and gun level where you're in the trees.
Oh, yeah.
And you had to like kill the bees and stuff. And there was one section where you have to jump like vertically along the way and like kill stuff. Well, like if the camera panned up and like you couldn't fall down, it would hurt you, even though like there was a platform to dodge onto below you.
Yeah, there was
and like only sometimes it would actually damage you. Other times it would be fine. And like I feel like I never knew what I was going to get when I tried to do it. It was really frustrating.
Sorry.
Yeah, just yet another thing to fuck with you.
I'm sorry, Joe.
Like I couldn't tell if it was intentional or not.
Yeah. Can you show me on the Cuphead doll where it hurt you?
That's the entire doll.
Yeah, it's just the whole doll.
I just want to know why the doll is anatomically correct.
I did a lot of research, okay?
Yeah.
There's some deep, dark parts of the internet.
Rule 34.
Yep. Oh, God, it probably does exist.
It probably does.
I'm sure it does.
Starts Googling on phone.
Yeah. Incognito mode.
Nah, live dangerously.
Oh, God.
I feel like I stood half a chance in this game until I started getting the flying levels.
Yeah, it really does just take it. It's like, all right, I've been doing good with this. I feel this. I'm getting a rhythm for it. Hey, here's this whole new part of the game. It's like, what? I was just doing
Jesus
good.
Christ, Sean.
Oh, God. A knock up. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot more. God, there's a lot more. I don't want to talk anymore. I just want to go take care of something real quick.
What? And then you just deleted it.
Saved a phone.
And wallpaper.
Yeah.
Wife's going to look over at John. What the hell is that? Nothing. That's my time.
This is my personal device.
That's for me.
You're invading my privacy. Sorry to get you off of.
No, you did.
Sorry to get you off.
Gross.
Yeah, those flying levels though, fucking brutal.
Really? I thought they were easier.
I was like, oh, platformer game. This is going to be fun. And then like, I was like, okay. And then it was like flying game. And I was like, it just got worse.
This game is like Joe's nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Dude. Like, I was just like, oh, God.
I'm just looking. It's like, fuck this.
There's like, so, I mean, like,
Joe's
I'm not saying it's not a good game. I'm saying I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just see you, Steve, bringing this up. Like, hey, we should review Cuphead. And Joe's like, oh, yeah, what's that game? Is it, what kind of game is it? And he's like, oh, it's a platformer. I hate platformers. Well, there's some flying levels. I'm even worse at flying levels. Please don't tell me it has a 1930s art style. It has a 1930s art style. It's just everything Joe hates in a game.
Please tell me it doesn't have catchy music.
Does it have catchy music?
Does it have jazz and ragtime? No.
No, but it does have a Charleston swing. God damn it. It's just, I just, love the idea of making a game that just is the worst possible experience for one of us.
I don't think there's anything much else to gameplay. I mean, the parry was interesting to build your special. Some of them were hard as fuck, and some of them...
Did they build your special?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Like if you parried on like the pink items...
Yeah, the pink items gave you a special bar.
I basically never parried.
Oh, no.
Oh, that makes this game a lot harder, Joe.
Yep. You really worked against yourself with this one, Joe.
You fucking this up, Joe.
Failure. I warned you at the beginning of gameplay. I set myself up for failure.
Yeah. At some point in the future, Joe's going to be like, you know what? Just maybe. And then he's going to do it right. And he's like, oh, by the way, guys, I 100% the game. Like, it was nothing.
It's Resident Evil 3 with no storage box all over again.
Oh, God.
Oof. So let's talk a little bit about music and sound. That one.
Oh, is that... Oh, cool. John's hosting now.
Oh, I was just doing a little segue.
All right.
Yeah.
We should move on.
Well, I mean, gameplay was the big one. There's not too much else
I
here.
mean, Joe would almost be past the root pack at this point.
All right. Well, let's hit that. Well, let's not hit that. Let's grab our ragtime gal and move into some graphics.
Let's hit our ragtime girl and move into graphics.
Let's beat the shit out of our ragtime gals.
Graphics.
She got lippy. I had to give her the old equalizer.
Hit him with the old 1-2.
We're gonna have enough. We're gonna have enough of that coming up in a review soon.
One heck of a brawl.
Remember,
A real hoot nanny.
Real brawl is a brewing here. All right.
open hand, gentlemen. Then it's not assault.
Hit it with a bag of oranges. Doesn't leave a mark, but it shows who's boss.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that coming up.
What's the next
And-
game you
and
guys are doing?
Well, you'll have to listen to find out at the end of this one.
Oh, okay. Segued.
Yeah. I mean, we did cover like pretty much the basics of the graphics when we were going over the development, where it's pretty much all hand-drawn animation by one of the brothers and then some Photoshop. And I think they had like one or two other artists to help out, and that was pretty much it. I gotta say, the way this game was like drawn and the graphics of it, I thought it looked fucking awesome. It was really neat.
Agreed.
Yeah, I love the art direction in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. This game looks incredible.
Yeah, no, this was actually one of the things that got me into this, or like wanted me to play the game. Like, because the old school cartoons are actually one of the things that I absolutely love.
Yeah, I mean, and then you started the game.
Oh, well, I knew the gameplay for me was going to be terrible.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love the art in this. I think it's very, even though none of us were around in the 30s and 40s, but I know
Speak for yourself.
Yeah. How old are you, Joe? I know, at least for me, when I was somewhere between the ages of like 5 and 10, you had the big stack of like VHS tapes, and it was like all the old like Disney cartoons and the old like Warner Brothers cartoons, and you'll just watch them, right?
Yeah.
So like I know that like scratched that itch pretty hard of that nostalgia of like childhood was definitely there, but it didn't like blatantly rip off any of those childhood characters. Like
Yeah, they just took the style and there was like a lot of originality that went into the characters that they made.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that I would question is, and obviously I didn't get to him, but just looking at the pictures, was Captain Brineybeard. Reminds me of Brutus from Popeye.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you do get that. I mean, it's kind of close. Let me get a little closer. Yeah, it is. It's pretty damn close.
Other than that, yeah, like all the other characters.
Oh, and then the last
super
level when you
original.
fight Mickey.
Yeah. Get ready, you beverage bitch.
The devil, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm the leader of an evil corporation. Think you can talk to me like that, little bitch?
It just gets real dark.
It really does. Welcome to the real Disney, punk.
The brothers that made this game? Ha ha. I had them killed. Ha ha. This level was made by our animators. Ha ha. It's like, holy shit. It took a real turn in the end there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the art direction, I think, was, probably what sold this game on a lot of people. Because if you just would have made this in like some kind of, generalized kind of video gamey art style, I don't think it would have sold. Right. It would have been like I like platforming bosses, kind of thing. And it would have been a very small audience. But I think the art and the music behind it kind of sold the whole experience. And if it doesn't have that, I think it probably isn't as successful as it wound up being.
Yeah, absolutely. And like little fun quirky things like was it the second island where there's the barbershop quartet and their barbershop poles themselves?
Did you find the fourth guy?
I did.
Yeah.
I found he was hiding over in that construction area or something. And it's like, oh yeah, then we'll go back. And then when they're reunited, you go up to him and they sing you a little tune.
That little barbershop quartet shanty. It was good.
Yeah.
I like those little details that they put in. Like you had to find the shortcut in the second act as well. That was another one. And then apparently there's some hidden stuff, like if you can beat a level without shooting your gun.
What?
Well, like some of the, what do you call it?
The running guns.
The running guns. You don't have to kill anything. You can just dodge everything.
Were there ones that didn't have mini bosses at the end?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, even with like there was one, I forget which one it was, but I accidentally dashed over and past it and then just finished the level without even having to fight them. And then you actually get there's a special rating for that because it can go up to A+, and then there's an S level grade, and then the P grade, which is like the pacifist grade that John's talking about there.
Mm-hmm.
Where don't kill a single thing, which I was okay not trying for that one. I mean, I would probably still give it a shot anyway, but that just seemed that one's pretty tough. Maybe start on the very first running gun and see how that goes.
Yeah, you don't want to try that on like the hardest running guns, but yeah, there's some interesting little secrets that you don't see if you don't look for it. And like some of the little animated characters talk about them. It's like, oh, you should try and do this without hurting anybody. Like I heard you get something special, you know?
Yeah, and then there's one where it's like if you parry off of something like 4 or 5 times in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He says something about it, which the one running gun makes it easy where there's like all the bouncing balls. But yeah, little stuff. Then like all the hidden coins. There's like a few hidden coins around there too.
Well, there's like a couple of alternate boss phases as well. So like the root pack, when the onion shows up, don't shoot him at all. And eventually he'll disappear. And then the carrot comes out, but instead of a carrot, it'll be a radish.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Right. Little yeah. Somebody drew a radish and just hit it. You know?
It's like you may never see this, and that's okay, apparently.
They wanted to play hide the radish.
Yeah.
A fun pastime for all.
It really is.
Yeah.
Really connecting with people of all ages. I think that's going to pretty much do it for graphics. So sing me your best tune, boys, and let's get into some audio.
Audio.
Which I can't say I was really surprised when the credits were rolling that like the music and audio credits was the biggest section of credits, like period.
Yeah. I like the music in this game.
Loved it.
It's again, like the art design, it's the same idea, right? It just sells the whole thing. It brings you into the world. I think it's really, really well done. And I like God.
Marrying the music to the graphics and just like the aesthetic of it all together really just nails the whole style of the game, and like it's such a huge selling point.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with what you said earlier about, you know, this game with different graphics and like a different soundtrack doesn't sell.
Yeah, I think it was really, really well like visioned out. Like, because when you play this well, it looks like you're watching a cartoon. It feels like you're watching a cartoon. You know what I mean? It's not like you're playing a video game. And there were some times where my wife was thoroughly confused when she came downstairs and was like, "What in the hell are you playing?" Like,
you mean what am I playing?
Yeah, the only thing I did have like a little sound design thing. Like some of the guns just sound really annoying. Like the popping sounds that they make after a long time just get kind of old.
Yeah, like the rapid fire for the pea shooter.
Yeah, it's just you're just like, oh man, for like a long time. It's but other than that, the music, the sound, the bosses, the voices, the narration, I think they did a really, really, really nice job with it.
Yeah, because I was reading, there was nearly 3 hours of original music that they did for the game. Everything was recorded live. They used a 3-piece big band, 10-piece ragtime ensemble, barbershop quartet, other vocalists and whatnot. So I mean, they put a lot of attention when it came to the music and such in the game, which I think it really shows.
And I, other than the music, practical sound effects, like when you would like beat a phase of a boss, you'd hear like a cymbal crash, right? Like they used to like kind of make those sound effects in a studio instead of having them being digitally made. All that stuff was like done by hand, and you can tell because it all has that kind of like depth of feel. The sound design on this game really impressive.
Absolutely.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's same here. We can go ahead and start wrapping this all up. Let's get ourselves into some final thoughts, gentlemen.
Final thoughts.
All right.
All right. Clark, why don't you lead us off with some final thoughts?
Well, I think the presentation in this game is a huge selling point in general. And I think if you're up for a challenge, this game is definitely for you. And I really had a lot of fun playing it. I intend to beat it, and I'll probably get the DLC when it comes out.
Awesome. Mr. Joe.
I have a love-hate relationship with this game. As stated, the gameplay is not really my forte. I'm not good at it. It makes me not want to play it. But the graphics and sound make me really want to play it. I won't finish this game. Not unless I do co-op or something like that and somebody carries me. It's not going to happen. As much as I'd like to experience the whole thing and get, more of the level design and the sound out of it, it's probably just not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm a little torn.
Gotcha. Joe, I would totally co-op this with you. That'd be a lot of fun. I'm just a little sad that was something that we weren't able to really do because it's just local co-op. Like there's no online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You got overcooked.
You got overcooked. Yeah.
All right.
John, I just, but you can play that moving game on PS5 share play with local co-op. So if anybody wants to play it, I already own it. You can just play it through my system. It's going to be awesome.
I think Steve's the only one who didn't buy it anyway.
Well, I'm just saying we could all play it, okay?
But yes.
Yeah, I have not. I remember you guys talking about that, but I don't think I ever picked that up.
It was one of the most disappointing nights of gaming, I think.
Oh my God.
I've ever
Stop making games without online co-op.
We were all so mad by the end of that night.
Did you all get it expecting to be able to play co-op and then it's just
yeah.
local?
Oh yeah.
We bought 4 copies of that game. We spent like
Yep. We spent
so
$80 for nothing.
And then we played. Well, then we spent another $40 buying. What was the other one?
Totally reliable delivery.
Totally reliable delivery service.
Yeah,
and that was a travesty.
Well, at least we played it for a few hours and had some laughs about it. Like the other thing,
I spent $40 on games that night for 2 hours of gameplay.
Yeah,
Oh God.
Yeah, it was not our high point.
Apparently not.
Not the best. Oh God, sorry to get us off track there.
No, all good, man. What's your final thoughts on this, John?
I really enjoyed this game. I think it's just a breath of fresh air. It's different than a lot of the other stuff that's out there right now. And you don't see games either with this art style, this music style, and this kind of gameplay anymore. I like how challenging it is personally. They could have easily made this game, simpler or easier and made it kind of a fun romp for kids. But you could tell that they wanted to make this a challenging experience for gamers. And, it's, definitely a worthwhile experience. I would say seek it out. I'll probably get the DLC, but I don't know if it's a rush order DLC for me. It's like, oh, I've got a free afternoon, and this is on sale for $5 kind of DLC. But, it's a fun game. It's just, I wish there was a little bit more of the, kind of run and gun levels in there. But, some of the stuff that I've seen online of people playing this is just unbelievable. The speed runs and stuff is just nuts. So it's a fun game. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. I think you really nailed it when you said there hasn't been a game like this in a long time because it kind of has the feeling of like some of your older like Nintendo or Super Nintendo type games, and there really hasn't been anything of recent that comes close to this. I did have a lot of fun with it. It definitely was super frustrating at times, but not the type of frustrating where I just want to put the controller down and walk away from it. If anything, it made me want to keep going because it's like, all right, now I have to beat it. I have to show them. I won't let you get the last laugh. You know, I can definitely see
Did you grow
where
a mustache when you said that?
Yes, I did.
Good.
I can definitely see where all the hype and positive reviews, and I know it won a bunch of awards. Like I can see why the DLC, once it comes out, is definitely on my must-buy list. Just for the fact that I really enjoyed being able to play a game like this because it's been different from really anything that we've played in the past few years, at least on like any type of next gen console. So yeah, it's pretty much all positive in my book. So with that, and after beating down the devil or just joining him and become very evil drinkware, let's get into the score.
The score.
Score it up. Joe, score us.
I thought I was going to be uncomfortable actually scoring this game initially, just because of how little I actually beat of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remembered that, you know what? All of these fucking review companies review games after like 3 hours of play. So fuck it, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, fuck it. Do it live.
I say I would give this game like a 65%.
All right, Mr. Clark.
This game is a buy for me. Probably on sale. I wouldn't recommend paying full price for the game unless you're really into like the bullet hell type games.
All right. For myself, this is definitely getting an A in my book. I mean, it's pretty much just explained it for an hour of why. So, yeah, that's going in some of the top tier of my list of games. And John, how would you make your own score out of this?
Well, I kind of feel like I should just be consistent for Harry and give it like a 4 out of 10. But I think this is, once you're kind of comfortable with the game, I think I probably beat this in about 3.5, 4 hours of actual gameplay time. So for me, it's a little short. And I'm not saying pad it with a bunch of filler, but I would have liked to see more. But I understand why it was so difficult for them to make more out of it. It's a tough one. I'd probably go 7 out of 10, 7.5 maybe. It's a really good game. I like it a lot. I just I wish there was more there.
Makes total sense. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for taking this journey into 80, 90 years in the past type style of animation and graphics and whatnot. So stay tuned. In 2 weeks, you will have yourself another Mubbas. Love you guys.
Stay lovely.
Stay safe.
Stay lovely.
But also stay safe.
But also stay sexy.
What are we doing?
Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on social media and all streaming platforms at Superfun Podcast for more episodes. If you enjoyed the show, tell a friend about us and consider becoming a Patreon member for more exclusive content.